Yo, what is up, guys? It is FerroSpace here. Now, I think I reached a conclusion of who is going to have the Dragon Zone in Wano Kuni. Now, dragon are apparently a big thing in Wano, and Oda seems to symbolize that a lot in his cover pages. I personally used to believe Kaido would be the one to have the Dragon Zone, but I'm starting to think that the Shogun of Wano Kuni might be the one to actually have that devil fruit, while Kaido might have the Oni Oni no Mi, which could be like the alternative version of Sengoku's Buddha devil fruit. So essentially a human fruit but a different model, and obviously it's going to be a mythical class because Onis are known as, they're not real creatures, they're actually like creatures you hear in myths. So it's definitely going to be a mythical class devil fruit, and it's already set in motion that Zoro is one of the individuals that is going to fight with the Shogun of Wano Kuni, maybe alongside Kinemon and Kanjuro, and maybe Raizo. I don't know. All three of them, they might play a part in finding the Shogun, but Zoro will obviously be the biggest problem for the Shogun. Also, the fact that the Shogun is the strongest swordsman in Wano Kuni, this will definitely get Zoro riled up for a fight, because throughout the new world, Zoro hasn't gotten the fight he wants. They've always put him against weak people and things like that. So this is definitely a great setup for Zoro, and it puts more of an emphasis on Zoro being his matchup, on his way to become the strongest swordsman. And this is something he has to do, beat a strong swordsman from the country of the samurai. So it's gonna be a big feat for Zoro in the Wano arc. And if the Shogun has a fire sword, Zoro has always been looking for a fire sword back in Punk Hazard. He might defeat him and take it for himself, and this would be a good chance for Zoro to have a top grade sword alongside Mihawk, because I think the Shogun's gonna have one of those swords that are on the same tier as the Mihawk. So one of the I think they're only 10 of them in the world, or 9 of them, and they're the highest grade sword you can ever get. And I think the Shogun definitely has one of those swords because he's the strongest dude in Wano Kuni. Now back to the Shogun having a Dragon Zone. All of the Straw Hats have an animal they symbolize in a way, and Zoro is known to represent a tiger, which has been shown in many cover pages. The other Straw Hats as well. Sanji's the goat, Luffy's the monkey, Chopper is like a deer or something like that. They all have a symbolic animal they represent, and tigers have always been an eternal rival to the dragon. In Japanese or Chinese literature or culture, tigers and dragon have a rivalry thing going on there, and I think this is what Oda is trying to symbolize. Now, the dragon style in the culture of Japan is often used to describe a sword style which is based more on techniques, while the tiger style is mostly based off raw strength. So the dragon versus the tiger is like a fight between technique versus raw strength. And that describes Zoro in a lot of ways. Zoro is known for his brute force, but not so much for his techniques. Zoro was surprised when Kinemon cut fire. I don't think Zoro can cut fire yet, but it's something he was interested in. And cutting fire, I don't think it's something you can just do with raw strength alone. So I believe Zoro is lacking in that aspect, where the techniques of his swordsmanship is not really as good as his brute strength. Is Zoro is always doing attacks that are blowing off mountains and Pika. All his attacks are top end attacks, but not so more technique wise. I've never seen Zoro do anything like that. Maybe the breath of things was actually the only thing that came close, but I think he is lacking in that aspect. Now, the tiger alludes to Zoro, who is a physical monster and a brute, and the dragon would allude to the Shogun being more skilled than Zoro, and to top it off with a Dragon Zone. So the symbolism here could also mean the conflict between the Zoro and the Shogun. The dragon symbolizes wisdom, and the tiger symbolizes strength. So I feel to overcome the Shogun, Zoro wouldn't have to rely on brute strength alone, but also on his swordsmanship skills. And I think this is where Zoro's eye would show its true power. A lot of theories, crazy theories. He has a Sharingan, he has a normal eye, he has Mihawk's eye. Obviously that dude is hiding some power back. Personally, I think it's related to something along the lines of the Breath of All Things, which he showed during Alabaster against Das Bones, where he learned how to cut steel. And Koshiro was telling him that there's swordsmen out there who could cut nothing. So he might have learned something from, you know, that word Koshiro told him, or Mihawk also told him something along those lines. And there's also a theme about, you know, Zoro killing a dragon, similar to how he did on Punk Hazard. Now I think that was a parallel to how Ryuma, who also killed a dragon, and we met him in Thriller Bark where he gave Zoro the Shisui. But I do think, you know, the Shogun will be stronger than Zoro, but he might have to grow stronger in that very fight to beat him. Now I don't think it's a 1v1. Zoro will be fighting with someone else, but you know, Zoro will be recognized as the one who will be the Shogun, because you know, he's gonna deliver the final blow. But yeah, Wano should be centered around Zoro, but I still think Kaido will have Oni fruit and the Shogun having the dragon, but I could be wrong. And it could be a mythical or an ancient dragon devil fruit, because mythical zoans are creatures that don't exist. You know, they're myths, that's why they call them mythical zoans. We've seen dragon actually exist in the One Piece verse. You know, there's the one Ryuma killed, and there's the one we saw in Punk Hazard. So it might just be an ancient zoan, but it could be like a different model. So there might be a ancient version and a mythical version. Like Mononosuke, his version might be a mythical one, but yes, it would be something along those lines. But anyways, tell me what you guys think. Like the video, comment down below, and subscribe for more One Piece content. It is Ferro, and peace out.